I'm muted. Hey everyone, how's it going? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll walk through the Zap in its entirety and then just go through all the different tabs as well so you can see what each thing means. So in this automation, it starts with a trigger. That trigger is a form is completed on my website. It's the onboarding form that I have for one of my services. When that happens, a folder is created in Google Drive with the name of the company and the person who filled out the form. So I'm pulling the information in from the form. That folder is created, and then it creates a document, which I call the master document for all of my engagements. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. And that renames the document with the client's name, the client's kind of personal name, as well as their company, as well as it fills in all of the answers that they gave me in the onboarding form as well. And I find that I go back to that all the time as I'm working on the engagement. I then get an internal email to me, which is to update the Google Drive sharing preferences. There is a way to automate it, but then you'd need to get all of their emails in the onboarding onboarding form. So I tend to just to go and do this bit manually. And also I don't want to risk sharing it with the wrong people or getting the setting wrong. And then the final step in this app is an email is sent to the client, which says, thank you, I've got your form. Here's your document, here's the link, and then there's a link to the onboarding call if they haven't booked it. Now, they may have booked the onboarding call, but I don't really mind saying, here's the onboarding call link if you haven't booked it yet. By the way, this is an automated message. So I'd much rather them have the link once or twice, and if they've already booked the call, then they can just ignore that part of the email. So to get to the trigger point of the onboarding flow, I send a email with, this is a template that I use called let's get started. And then I always try and put something from the conversations that I've had with them. And then the next steps are submit your invoice details here. That's just a form on my website. This actually has an automation to create a contact in Xero, which I use for invoicing. So that's one way that's another automation I'm not showing there. Send over an NDA. I just so I can sign it. Not everybody sends NDAs, but if they want to, they can. And then there's a link to complete their onboarding form and then schedule the onboarding call. And then this is always the same. Just to show you what the onboarding form looks like. This is, I use WordPress and then Elementor. I know a lot of people are a bit anti-WordPress these days, but I've spent years learning how to actually use WordPress, and I can build these things quite quickly now. So I kind of stuck to WordPress. There's a couple of different steps in the form, but it's your company, your clients, and your current setup. Once they complete the onboarding form, I also have a redirect to just a little confirmation page here. I like to kind of add in little bits of personality sometimes throughout the interactions with clients. Sometimes I forget and I just come across really serious as well. So I think this helps balance it out a little bit. Then any questions before I go on? No. So at the same time that this form is completed and they get redirected to this website, that's all they do and all they see on their end for the immediate. And then this is where the automation triggers, and it creates a folder. This is just a fake company, a folder here with the outbound prospecting and recommendations document, which looks something like this. And it pulls through all of the inputs that they put through the form into the document here. Now you have to map this in the template in Google Drive, so it takes a little bit of pre-planning to get it here. And obviously, if they don't add supporting documents, because some of the fields on the form aren't required, so it just pulls through the merge tag. So I just go in and just delete that. And then this is the document that they receive, and it's got all of the information. This is like all of the template or boilerplate info, and then I go in and I add my context and my recommendations and suggestions in here as well. But by having this done, it just saves me so much time. And of course, I've delivered this a few times as well. So I wouldn't have created this automation at the very beginning because I want to know what document works and what doesn't. And I'm constantly updating the template as well. Just the last two steps here. This is the internal email that I get to say, you need to share access to the Google Drive. So I just click in there, which opens the folder, and then I go in and change the the settings, share settings to manage access here. But again, this is just an example to show you. And then lastly, this is the email that the client gets about a minute after they, a minute or two after they complete the onboarding form, where it says, hi, thanks for completing the onboarding form. If you haven't done so already, please book your onboarding call. Here's your link. No worries if you've already booked it. This is an automated email. Also, the master document is ready. Click here and you can access the file. Looking forward to kicking things off soon. So that's that whole process. So really what I've walked you through is the different tabs, not this one, sorry, and these different steps here. I think someone's trying to join, so just bear with me.